Alrighty. I just wanted to talk about just middlemen. I think what's exciting about the death of Hollywood is that we're starting to kind of like lose middlemen. How often do you encounter a gatekeeper who stands between you and your audience? It could be it's usually some sort of executive or rep or manager or headhunter. It's someone who is acting as a creative liaison between you and, say, your client, or you and the audience. And what their job title is doesn't really matter. They're not a creative. They're not a creative. And so what happens inevitably is they hold your creative work hostage. And they say, well, we can't show this to the client until you make these changes. And the changes are based on their lack of creative expertise. They're based on the instincts of a person whose focus is business. It's not art, it's business. And so suddenly they have some leverage in the creative world. And they can't help themselves. They're like a kid in the candy store. They are drunk with power. And they want to exercise their opinion over something creative. It's outside of their scope of expertise, and it's suddenly you're trying to accommodate this kind of frustrated child. That's what I always encounter. I always encounter this personality trait. Seems like it comes from a defining moment in one's childhood where they were teased or ridiculed or they weren't supported enough. And you can tell that they're sort of there's a mortal wound somewhere in their past. And suddenly now they have power. And usually all the changes that they suggest are all based on some insecurity. They feel like the work that they're presenting to their boss, their client, is an extension of them. So the successes or the failures of that work hinge on how they present the work. But it's not their work. They're presenting somebody else's work. And honestly, artists speak the same language. There's a stronger conduit from one artist to another because we understand subtext, we understand nuance, and we understand dream language and symbolism, archetype. Musicians are constantly dealing with emotion. And symbology, in the lyrics. I mean, how often do you encounter music lyrics that are non-specific? They're ephemeral. They're a memory. They're someone else's memory. And they're meant to be an archetypal memory so that anyone in their own life can access the music. Fonco, I love it. Just drove by Fonco. Fon Davis. The lights are on. Fon Davis is humping it. He's burning the midnight oil. It's fucking badass. That was cool. I was like, where are all these lights? Oh, Fonco. It's about 5:45. I'm gonna go pick up dinner for the family, get some burritos. Anyway, that's my experience with these gatekeepers. And honestly, this goes back to something that Gerald Howard once said, which I think is just, he broke off so much wisdom over the years I've known him. One of the things that Gerald said was, there's an audience and they're hungry for animation. You can hear them. They're hungry. They want it. And we gotta feed them. And, I mean, dude, how insightful is that? And that's what I'm talking about. Fuck the middleman. Artists, with the internet, artists and their audience there should be a direct line. And it should be, may the best piece of art win. And that's the promise of YouTube. It's like, what do people want to see? Oh, well, they tell you what they want to see with their hits, with their clicks, with their likes, with their subscriptions, with their follows. They tell you. They tell you what's popular. And we don't need a focus group. We don't need Netflix's algorithms. We don't need some producer, rep, executive making some broad statement. No, we just need to know, oh, they want more of this, they like more anime. Fuck, dude, let's pour it on. They like more ultra violence. Oh, cool. They like more psychosexual sci-fi. Fuck yeah, dude, let's do it. Let's give them more. What do they want? Not what are you telling me they want? What do they want? They tell you. They tell you right there with their clicks. So I think middlemen are dinosaurs. This puffed up sense of self-importance. It's true that we still need to make connections, and we need to have access to certain people in order to sell certain things. But I don't know. I'm encouraged by the medium and the shifts in the medium. I mean, budgets are coming down. People are working in smaller groups. The shit's getting all punk rock again. And at the end of the day, are you making unmistakably beautiful work? Because there's always going to be a demand for that. I mean, there's also a demand for pure garbage, but, it's like, let the audience decide. offer them a broad range and get out of the way. It's like, what do you do all day, sir? I sit on a laptop and sip cappuccino. What do you do? I make art. That's what I do. Yeah, I've been doing it for my whole life. And so I have a lot of experience doing it. And the reason I get hired is because people respond to my ability to do it. And now you, with zero experience making art, are going to take a shit all over everything we've done. Because you feel entitled to that. And you don't understand vision, dreams, allegory, nuance. You don't understand subtext. The lyrics of the song elicit a feeling. That's what they do. So if we were to animate every single lyric exactly as it was spoken, it would look like a bouncing ball at the bottom of a karaoke video. Like that's a fucking sledgehammer. And what we want the audience to do is read between the lines and have their own experience. We're trying to elicit a feeling from any person that can look at objects, ephemeral objects, in a symbolic way, and create a non-specific memory. Because if we get hyper-specific, we're just spoon-feeding people. But if we're non-specific, people go, oh, I know what the nuance of what is being said here means, because I've felt that before. And that's the language of art. It challenges the audience to have their own experience while also having the experience that you present to them. But that's not how business people think. They don't think that way. Unless they're having some kind of midlife crisis and suddenly, their psyche shatters for a brief moment and they, 2 martinis in, stare out the window and have a fleeting glimmer of what a daydream might feel like. But whatever. I'm not bitter. Can't you tell I'm not bitter? On the move.